Thank you guys for coming back to yet another episode of Cobra TV. First off, a couple of things. I want to thank everybody that has taken the time to subscribe to this community. It is so amazing that you're here. On the last video that I uploaded, what I titled No Man's Sky Gameplay Elements, where I talked about some of the gamey elements in the game, there's a few people, not a whole lot, that took it the wrong way. I did read that. It's something that I wrote, and I read it live on when I was broadcasting over Twitch. And I was a little bit nervous reading it live, and so there's a weird tone to my voice. The video is not aimed at critics. The video is not aimed at people who do not like No Man's Sky, but more so aimed at people who want to know more, people that like structure in their games. We all know that No Man's Sky is about freedom. It's about, having those barriers removed and not having a structured path. But some gamers do actually like that type of gameplay, and that since there's so much freedom in No Man's Sky to do whatever you want or to just sit on a rock for the entire time you're playing it, there's even that freedom to play it with structure if you want to. And I think that, Hello Games kind of like recognized that and put some things in there for every type of gamer to be able to enjoy this amazing game. To me, even though I talked about some of the gameplay elements, I myself look at No Man's Sky as an experience. So the video is pretty much for people who wanted to know more about the gamey aspect of No Man's Sky that is possible. It does not define what No Man's Sky is by any means. But I've had so much fun talking to you guys on Wednesdays over Skype and on the Twitch channel. And I want to share some of those right now. Since we're in a dead spot of information, it's always cool to hear somebody else talk about No Man's Sky. So in this video, the spotlight is on the community and those who want to take the mic and speak. I love you guys. Subscribe here for all things No Man's Sky. Until next time.
Howdy, Cobra. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for coming on Cobra TV.
Oh, appreciate you having me on. I have to feel like I actually feel like I'm like talking to a famous person right now. It's really cool.
No, never. I'm just a YouTuber.
Hey, man, you're famous to me, so
that's pretty cool. Thanks, buddy. So, what brings you on tonight? What do you want to talk about?
I think when the game comes out and people get to see gameplay videos, I think it'll catch on. Really, honestly, because
yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah. Is I could take a week and explore the planet I just found, and then after a week's worth of walking around or flying around it, I can go, okay, let me go to the next planet and spend another week there. Or I could, go to a different galaxy, which the fact that I can say that and it's actually going to happen still blows my mind that I get to say that out loud.
I know.
But like I'm bored with this planet. I'm bored with planet A. Well, let me go fly over to planet B real quick and see what's going on over there. And then I can warp to a different galaxy altogether where there's a whole new array of planets. So I mean, there are definitely elements of the game that will be the same. You're going to be able to use your jump packs. You're going to jump around. You're going to shoot your gun in mine. Like those are going to be repetitive. But I mean, it's when you have something this open, the possibilities are endless. I can't remember who. I think it was on your show, but someone brought up the idea that when people start making YouTube channels about their playthroughs, it's like you almost want to watch every single one that's out there because everyone's going to see something different.
Oh, I know.
Everyone's going to have a different, they're going to see something different. They're going to have a different type of planet. And it's going to be, you won't be able to spoil the game for someone else because there's no way that they'll be able to see everything that you've seen.
Exactly. Have you seen some of these personal gameplay trailers that people are uploading? It's like,
oh yeah,
they're role playing already and making a trailer for their gameplay, and I just think that's so cool. That some of these channels are going to be like their own story that they're making up as they're playing the game. And I don't know if you're a member on exploreNMS.com, but there's a section on there where people are writing the prologue to who they are in No Man's Sky, and I tell you, I'm floored with how well that those are written. I mean, those are authors. It's funny you say that because I actually started writing on there myself in your story. It's called Bendrix. Oh, really?
Yeah, Bendrick's Reign. It's one it's a little. I think there's 3 parts of it so far that I've written on there, but you read the other ones as well. Like everyone has, and that's the really cool part. You know, beyond. I mean, just letting you know that Explore NMS. I've never been so involved in a forum before.
Yeah,
and Explore NMS has been awesome, completely awesome. But like reading your stories. The your story section, you get to see like everyone's different take, and the beautiful part about it, everyone has like their own way of telling the story. And I honestly I hope everybody who's writing on there really decides to like start their own channel with their own character, because I would love to see some of those play out, you know. And that's something I want to actually do myself, is take that character that I started with Bendrix and, you know, go full throttle and see what I can do on YouTube, because there's so many possibilities. It's amazing.
Yeah, you're right. And there's also a section on there where you're allowed to like self promote yourself. So if you have a Let's Play of No Man's Sky, you're allowed to just flaunt it and just put it up there.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so any pictures or any kind of creations you guys want, there's no such thing as spamming your own content. You can put whatever you want on there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff there, and that's really the beautiful, you know, you see a lot of games come out, and as an artist or as a game maker, you have a certain level of control you want over your baby, over your game, and it's kind of amazing to watch how Sean Murphy and his team and No Man's Sky, they're basically they have elements that are saying like this, like they said that they're going to have a little bit of a backstory about why you're out there, but everything else is kind of up to you. Like to be able to give that freedom to you, like a lot of developers really don't do that. And that enables the community just to go game busters, and it's really cool.
Right. Let me ask you your opinion, and I've asked several people. What do you think the companion book that they speak of is? Do you think it's a real physical book?
I'm curious about that myself. At first when I heard about it, I thought it might have been maybe some artwork, because I know sometimes they have books that they release maybe with like if you buy a legendary version of the game or something like that, where they have like an artwork book. But maybe there might be some lore in there, or who knows what they'll put in there. It might be. I know I'm going to get it when they release it.
Oh yeah, me too. That's a must. You know, I mean, and that's the thing that I thought too. Like maybe it's like to get you kick-started on the lore of No Man's Sky, like not telling you everything, but just enough with some pictures and stuff like that. You know, to kind of get you settled in and give you that little push to understand what's going on. You know, because they're not going to tell you a story. There's absolutely no story in No Man's Sky. There's freedom, and then there's a goal, and there's things in the middle that make it hard for you to reach that goal. So you could do either or. And, you know, with the lore, it just amazes me how thick of a lore it was when he said an ancient race of aliens seeded the Sentinels throughout the galaxy, and that they're self-replicating, and that you're a part of the lore, and there's a reason why they're a bit out of control. So that's a pretty thick lore.
I guess the cool part about it is just, you know, they give you just enough to make it valid, like to make everything valid, like while you're out in the universe, while exploring it, but they don't give you enough so you can basically say, as you're playing, like I am so and so, and I'm like attacking this ship, or I'm exploring this, or I'm trying to, you know, find this rare, you know, beast in the ocean somewhere or something like that. Yeah. So, heck yeah, this is gonna be awesome for sure.
But I think it's, like you said, it's so loosely, you know, like such a loose lore that I think that anybody can interpret it their own way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I cannot wait to get this game. A lot of people have been waiting ever since, you know, the VGX, and there's a lot of people that are getting really, really impatient, and I understand. You know,
the Facebook group.
Oh gosh, man, it's everywhere. You know, it used to be we would see like these strange floating grass post everywhere, and now we see like release date,
Oh,
and then we see like the post, stop it with the release date, stop it with the release date. You know, it's
and
like
it just starts to right back up again. It's like a perpetual motion. We could probably make an engine off of release date alone, and it just keeps on energizing itself over and over again.
Yes, exactly.
Like, but it's just that excitement for the game, and like I understand some people get annoyed with it, but at the same time, I would rather have thousands of people screaming release date and then they buy the game versus having like a couple people like whatever.
Yeah. You can also tell it's almost here because everybody's at that boiling point that I don't think they can take anymore.
Oh.
So it's got to be getting close.
I remember when I first saw anything about the game, I think it was last year at E3, and my mind, I had no idea about the procedural narration. I had no idea about there was a giant universe. All I saw was that he flew a ship from space onto a planet, and I was like, I want to play this game. Like that to me was the most. I remember saying like I've always wanted to play something where I could go on a planet and go into space and like have no load screen, just go.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the most amazing thing. If it was literally one galaxy with like 4 planets and a sun, I was sold.
Ah, yeah.
But then when I heard about this year that it's gonna be quintillions of planets and I was like, you had me at hello at this point. But
yeah, exactly. When I first seen the trailer, it looked kind of cool. I'm like, those are dinosaurs. Oh, there's a spaceship. And then he gets into the spaceship, and I'm like, okay, spaceships and dinosaurs mixed together. That's pretty awesome. And then he flew up towards the sky, and he left the atmosphere, and he was in space. And before I even finished the video, I went back, and I'm like, okay, well, this is a person playing. This doesn't look like a CGI trailer. So then I watched, and then he shot a couple things into space. Then he flew down onto Solid Prime. No loading screens.
Right.
And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. I was sold. And like you said, then I did some more research and I found out that it was an entire universe.
Ugh.
And I'm like, damn, I'm in. I'm all in. When's this game coming out? I think I was asking the release date back in 2014.
Oh yeah, this is going to be exciting. By the way, I want to ask you, did you check out the 41 amazing things about No Man's Sky that was released by Alex? And I thought this is like a random little tidbit in there, but you were talking about the Sentinels, and that was one of the big things, talking about like you have the whole police system.
Yeah. And
I didn't realize after reading through the list, I think it was maybe they talked about it before, but like not every single planet is going to have them. So like they basically say like that's going to be the one that you want to go and mine the crap out of it, just because you won't get like killed or something like that. But it's so interesting how dynamic they've even made the whole game, where it's like the planet, depending how close it is to the sun, whether it be have life or not have life, and there's that sweet zone of between how far it is away from the sun where actually will have life on it, and all that jazz. Crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he said a while back that you're not always going to be in danger. So there's not always going to be enemy factions everywhere. There's not always going to be sentinels everywhere. There will be times where the game will feel like a passive experience, and you'll be able to just catch your breath. So that is pretty cool. I think me and Bookshelf Gaming, once we were talking about that, and I'm like, yeah, that's the time you bring out the brown bag and crack open your lunch and just have a sandwich on some alien mountain. Yeah.
Well, I remember when Sean talked about how he was just sitting in space and watching ships just fly in and out of the space station, and just how beautiful and tranquil that was. And I was like, the first thing I'm probably going to do is I think the first time I'm going to play the game, I'm just going to sit, like, whether you start in space or on the planet, I'm going to go to space and just sit out there and look. Just sit for a little bit and just let it just like soak it in for a bit.
Right. And when he said that, that's something that I want to do. I want to do exactly what he said. And imagine that's not just at the space station. You could sit there on a mountain and watch them coming into a trade station on a planet trading, or find a really planet that's thriving with life and just sit somewhere and watch them do all their things they do, and even watching another animal eat another animal, because we know they do. So
wow, it's right. Yeah. Holy crap.
So it'd be cool, man. Some of those times just sit there and watch the game instead of play it.
That'll be really. It'll be nice to get home from work or going out, you know, and just turn on the game and just like sit there and just watch as something happens. And you're just relaxing, and that's, you know, how sometimes you have like a nature channel on the background or some type of like something like that. You just turn on No Man's Sky, and you just watch as ships come in or animals just like running around, and wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. One of the co-hosts on the GNN that I do on Tuesdays, he plans on doing a documentary type with No Man's Sky, because his voice, that's what he used to do for a living. He used to do audiobooks, so he's got that voice. I mean, down pat. And he's going to do stuff like that on YouTube for laughs. So it's going to be pretty cool.
That'll be sweet. I hope to catch it. I'm going to make sure to get his channel so I can watch it.
Oh, yeah. So what about you? What do you plan on doing? Anything special, or just playing it normal?
Well, I would like to play it normal, but honestly, just for how well Bendrix has been going, I kind of really do want to dive into that, having a character. And I've always, before I even wrote that fan fiction, I really wanted just to explore.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take the big giant walk. I wanted to walk all the way around the planet, complete circle all the way through it. Maybe I'll do that one day, but I think Explorer is going to be probably the main thing that I'm going to be doing, just because I won't be able to sit there and not explore. I'll be too much. But it'll be kind of fun to kind of, with the character, mess around and maybe join in on some faction wars or something like that, or raid some ships, or maybe defend some caravans or something like that, or stuff like that. So it's kind of, I almost like, what my plan is to do is just play the game and then do like a voiceover video type thing, and just kind of whatever happens while I'm playing is just going to be part of the episode. I see. And it just seems like, even as unscripted as that might be, just for how many different things can happen while you're playing the game, I doubt there'll be a lack of content in that case.
Oh yeah, you're definitely right. And you could always do like 2 uploads, to have 2 different shows on your one channel. Just one where you're an explorer and it's just you, and then there's the other where it's your storyline that you're going for. So you could always do both.
That's true.
All right, buddy. Any closing statements before I take another caller here?
No, man, I just appreciate what you're doing, Cobra. Like, I started watching your videos not too long ago, and you've seriously just keep doing what you're doing, man.
All right, we're going to take Jay Memes next. Jay, if you can hear me, I'm getting ready to call you. I don't know, but you guys, that was a pretty good caller. What do you think? I enjoyed it. While we're waiting for Jay, how many of you plan on starting YouTube channels and broadcasting your adventures in No Man's Sky onto the great YouTube?
Hey, what's up?
James, what is going on, buddy? Thank you for coming on Cobra TV.
Dude, so much things happened today, and I missed the GNN yesterday, and I feel so bad.
So what brings you on Cobra TV tonight? What do you want to talk about?
Well,
No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I was telling you how that there were a number of things that I noticed from some of the old trailers, and then also the new trailers with IGN, that I didn't hear anybody really mention. So I thought I'd point them out. One of the things with the new trailer, I believe it was the video, the 6-minute gameplay video where they actually had the guy from IGN was playing the game.
Uh-huh.
And you know how he goes all the way out away from his ship, and then when they're looking for the ship again, and he comes back and when he's turning around looking for the ship, you'll notice that on the, that crater that he flew out of, the water.
Yeah.
Right there, as the camera pans to the left to find the ship, you'll notice down on the at the edge of the crater, underneath, there's a green crystal that we've seen near the caves. In some of the trailers, is actually protruding downward from the inside of the crater.
I think I see that.
From the caldera of the crater. Yeah. And that right there, that shows that, okay, because in all the other trailers, we've seen like 1 or 2 different types of minerals from crystals protruding out of the ground. Right. And so far, we'd only seen 2 minerals per planet, in a sense, and there's that green one. So not only does that show that that there could be many more minerals per planet. Like there's not going to be just 1 or 2 minerals we're going to discover on one planet and then a couple others, and the periodic table is going to be really small and You know, I'm sure if we find planets that are sort of similar with the wildlife or the ecology, then they're going to have similar minerals on them as well. So it all ties into the whole scientific periodic table to the galaxy and everything that they've created.
Right.
But that was an interesting find, like just small little thing that I was like, oh, cool. So there's something different. Another thing was in the IGN gameplay when Sean's playing. You know how when he gets out of the ship or he's already out of the ship, and with the green grass one,
right?
And he walks a little bit away from the ship, and then he turns around and he comes back behind the ship and goes and takes out some minerals and gets in the fight with the goat and everything.
Yeah.
There's this object that he was just turning right when he was turning around looking at the ocean and stuff. He didn't focus on it and he didn't stop the camera. I don't know if he did this on purpose, because this object, it was like a dark colored grayish blue object that was a perfect sphere, and it was rather large, and it was sitting in the grass out in the just kind of at the tree line. And it pans so quickly on my phone. I wasn't watching it. I watched with HD too, but the frame rate kind of was kind of choppy as it panned, because who knows what they're using the frame rate for the cameras,
right?
Recording it with, and you can't really make out what it is, but it looks like a smooth texture, like a dark teal or gray color, and it's just this perfect sphere, which I figured it wasn't a rock because it's too perfect to be a rock.
Right. Yeah, I think
like even if it was like a stone, like an ancient stone or something, there'd be designs or something carved in, or just wear and tear and stuff. It was just perfect. And I was just like, okay, what the hell is that? And why doesn't Sean want to focus on it? Why isn't that one of the things that he showed us? Is it something significant? Is it just effect of the world, or what?
There's other gameplay while he's on that planet that actually you can get a better look at those spheres. Yeah. They even got like little points at the top. I don't know what they are. Just like the little box that that Ryan accidentally landed on when he was playing the game. They might be something just like that. They're objects we interact with. Yeah. Right. For what, I have no idea. But they definitely look cool, and they definitely give the planet, a real like alien feel to it, for sure. Yeah. There's something to discover, something to figure out. Yeah. I don't know who the guy that did the gameplay with Sean Murray from IGN. I don't know his name. I never remember. Ryan. Okay. When Ryan was playing, and how he killed the animal on the planet, and then he tried to bury him. Yeah. Well, they didn't, even during the gameplay, they didn't seem to notice that he started getting shot by a drone from the right side. Yeah, he was. And he only had one little wanted level thing. He just one there. When he dropped in the hole, the drone lost him. It's like you went subterranean and the drone's just like, where'd he go? Yeah. And then he came out of the hole and the drone wasn't following him after a while. And I sat there and I watched, and it took about 2-3 minutes more of gameplay of him just running around minding his own business before that wanted level actually disappeared. Right. It went away if he was just minding his own business. But what I understand is from the other gameplay that we've seen, when the E3, when Sean starts mining and the big walking sentinels comes after him, I don't think it even showed the wanted system on there, did it? No, it didn't, because he had it built. He had a demo build to try and show that off. Because if you noticed, he didn't get a wanted level, and drones didn't come after him. Yeah, drones didn't come after him first. Yeah. The sentinels, 2 of them came after him, and that was just to show it off. Okay, so basically it wasn't a real build of the game. It was a confined certain rules basis of the game, so that nothing adverse would happen to what he wanted to show everybody on stage. He didn't want any mess ups happening. There was still the chance that the demonstration could have gone wrong, but certain things were turned on, so we can give examples for him. Okay. Well, he knows his game well. That's
pretty good.
Oh yeah, and I guarantee you, when he was sitting there with Ryan, and when Ryan's playing, I guarantee you, as a coder of this game that he's been working on for so long, he's seen glitches that none of us were able to see. You know, and if you noticed, when they got done with the E3 demonstration, they went right up to their room to code. They were working on another build to show off to the public, because during that time they seen a lot of things that we didn't see, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that, man. You know what? I tell you what, this game looks great. I don't care about the little tiny glitches. Yeah, just
yeah. And I mean, at the oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Greedy me just wants the game now, you know. But
yeah, me too. Me too. I'm hoping. Okay, we've gone through the IGN. IGN got their time. They got to put all their footage out. They worked so hard on. They got their time. For some reason, we couldn't have a release date at E3, which would have been a lot easier to watch IGN's videos. If we had been waiting on a release date, it would have been a lot easier to deal with. Yeah,
a lot of people are getting impatient. You know, like I tell everybody, man, you know, it's coming soon. You know, the gaming, the No Man's Sky community, everyone's at their boiling point, and that's a sign that it's coming soon. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, let them take as long as they need to. This is their masterpiece, you know. And as far as the gaming industry goes, this game, it's going to lead the way in some of the games that come after it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any closing statements for No Man's Sky before I take another caller here real quick?
Well, closing statements for the No Man's Sky community. I want to let you guys know that I've been following this game since June 2014, and I've been following Cobra's TV, the channel, ever since he started it. Ever since the first video before he even stepped back and said, "I'm going to dedicate my channel to No Man's Sky," I've been following. So I've seen this channel grow. I've seen Cobra grow. I've been there with him for thick and thin. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for giving him a chance. And I'm glad that we actually have a community going, because, you know, all the way up the point of the game release and after that, I have to say that this is the greatest following of any game I've ever been a part of. So I'm thankful for that, because it gives me something to do with my boring life. I'm always looking forward to the next Cobra TV video, the next GNN or GGN, or am I saying that right? Did I screw it up? GNN, yeah. And I'm always, you know, and just like everybody else, I'm diehard No Man's Sky fan, waiting for the next piece of information, and Cobra's always delivered it to us with some most comprehensive and detailed report without getting any rumors, you know, tainting up our understanding of the game.
Dude, I thank you so much. Those are really kind words, dude. Really touching. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Always there for you, Cobra.
Yeah, I know that. You've been there through, you know, the weird mask days, the GTA 4 days. Yeah, you were there.
Mm-hmm. I've never really, I've followed games like this before, but I have to say that this is the first time that there's ever been a really good community behind one.
Right.
And also a YouTube channel dedicated to it with we know who we're talking to that's actually running the show.
Yeah.
That's great that we get to be involved as a community. It's not just a community, we're involved as a pursuit of the game.
Yeah, I love that so much. It's my favorite part, you know, being able to talk to the people that watch the videos. You know, that's just and talking to the people that are just a part of the No Man's Sky community in general is the coolest thing that I think that I do. You know, it's fun. It's to hear different people's viewpoints of the game. It's just amazing. Well, James, thank you so much for coming on Cobra TV, dude. I appreciate it so much, man.
Always.
All right, man. You take care.
I'm always here. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye, bud.
Bye, everyone.
Joshua, thank you for coming on Cobra TV, buddy.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, dude. It's my pleasure. What brings you on? What do you want to talk about, man?
You guys advertised on a No Man's Sky video to add you, and I thought, hey, this game has been my obsession for the past 2 weeks, ever since the E3 conference and the...
Wow, so you just learned about this game through this E3? This past E3?
No, I've known about this game since it was announced in, what, 2014?
Oh, at the VGX, yeah.
Yeah, it was announced, what, 1 or 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
it just kind of dropped off my radar because I wasn't hearing about it. I didn't really care to know. There were other games coming out. 2014 was the disappointing year that it was for games, and then
it was.
Oh yeah. So, but then things started picking up right around E3 when they showed. Honestly, they didn't really show much. They showed about 3 minutes of what they've been showing so far, and that's a bunch of, flying over planets and looking at pretty scenery.
Yeah.
But I've been keeping up a lot with this game, a lot of news, because there's a lot been coming out about it, because everybody's got all the attention about the release date not being announced.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's it seems like that's what everybody's on fire about right now. But IGN's coverage, yeah, it was lacking tons. But what was really cool is it got the attention of so many people that didn't know what this game was. And it left some of the pinpoint features right on top of the internet, so that way people can quickly grasp what this game was. So that I respect it for that. It did start off really good, with the 18 minutes of gameplay. And I thought, wow, after that, we are in for a nice month.
I think the videos were all really good, really interesting, really entertaining. I think they were ordered improperly if they wanted people to get hyped. If they had started off with the procedural music and, how the world works, and then ended with the 18 minutes of gameplay with occasionally cutting back to Sean Murray looking uncomfortable as they're playing it, I've never seen anybody look so just uncomfortable, because I don't think an indie dev ever expected to get as big as they got.
They did not. No. Yeah, they did not expect it. And yeah, man, I that is probably you could just feel his pain when he's sitting there beside Ryan, and he's just like got that look on his face. He's rubbing his beard. It's like, oh God, I hope they can't see that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of difficult to go from developing, this cartoony, side-scrolling, racer game to essentially creating an entire universe.
Well, if you think about it, he used to work for EA. He helped make Burnout 3, which is, it's one of my favorite racing games, and has been for a long time. I don't know if you've ever played Burnout 3, but the takedowns in that game are just addicting. But he was one of the developers on that team, and so he knows what he's doing. And I think another one of the members were in a big AAA development. So they're not. People think of them as being indie developers, like they just went from home to an office building of their own, but these guys have a lot of history, a lot of experience behind them, so they know what they're doing.
So what were you guys talking about in regards to No Man's Sky before you?
It's been all over the place, dude. Whatever you want to bring up, if you have something you want to talk about No Man's Sky, it's pretty much these subcasts are, I give you the mic and you can tell me, you could talk about anything about No Man's Sky that you want to, or your plans for your gameplays. Are you going to upload just anything you want?
I was actually watching your ship, the way the ships are generated, the episode you guys did on that.
Yeah.
Before I got here, and that was what led me into the Skype call. I have to say the system definitely interests me. I think the whole idea of everything being procedural is a good one. As far as just what I plan to do in gameplay, it's hard to even begin to say what you're going to do in a game like that.
Yeah.
Something with that much size and scope. And as far as recording, a couple of years ago I used to be into it, but it was something I quickly grew out of when I realized I had nothing interesting to say whatsoever. I don't know, I feel like people, especially channels like yours, they not only require a lot of commitment, but a lot of natural talent.
Yeah.
People like you have a very aesthetically pleasing voice. Well, not aesthetically, but you have a voice that people can just play a game and listen to in the background while getting bits of news. But a person like me could not talk for an hour and a half and have people want to watch more of it.
I don't know. There's a lot of people out there that you wouldn't think would make good Let's Plays, but they do.
Something that usually has that much ambition and scope is usually immediately put on early access, given 2 years of really disappointing development, and then abandoned.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if you don't believe me, just look at how many survival games have made it on there, how many quote-unquote procedurally generated, the next biggest thing. I was one of the unlucky few who owned Starforge when it came out in our early access, and it was a very similar idea. But what I respect about this is that they are, not only does Sean Murray seem down to earth, it's everything you hear about him is that he's a very down to earth person, but that they're wanting to make a finished game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and they didn't do a Kickstarter. They didn't do a crowdfunding or a backing system. They didn't even accept the money from Sony. So it's like,
that sounds like a jab at Star Citizen right there.
We were talking about that.
Billion.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night on the GNN, and that was a pretty crazy discussion there. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel this game is compared to. Just, I don't feel like many people make the comparison directly to it, but when I think of games that have that big of an ambition, that's why I'm really thinking the release date will be whenever it needs to be, because it's not Star Citizen that's trying to sell $300 chips that may or may not make it into the game eventually.
Yeah.
And it's not trying to go on early access with false advertising and a really good-looking Kickstarter video. But, I mean, I assume your channel is almost exclusively No Man's Sky. That's what I noticed from the short glance I gave at it. You guys talk about that game a lot there.
It is a No Man's Sky channel, but I am going to be... I also cover another game called Megaton Rainfall. And sometimes I'll upload a video talking about a game, and then I'll ask people if they want to see more of it. And that game... that video got like all positive. Everybody wanted to see more. So I'm going to be doing a second video on that. Plus there's another game that I'm going to be talking about in one video to see if people are interested. Other than that, yeah, it's almost all No Man's Sky related. Okay.
I just wanted to be sure to keep it on topic. If you don't mind me asking, what do you think you're looking forward to most? I'm sure you've gotten this question 3 or 4 times today, but what are you two looking forward to most in regards to this game?
What am I looking forward to the most in No Man's Sky?
Yeah.
That's a reverse question. I always ask that to everybody else. I tell you what I plan on doing. Me and the GNN crew, we plan on heading towards the center at the same exact time together, from all different directions. Once we get there, we want to find a solar system that we can all pick to meet at the space station. I know we cannot interact, and I know it's going to take a long time, but it's been stated that it could take anywhere between 40 to 100 hours to get to the center of the galaxy. Once we do get there, though, we're just going to all fly side by side straight into the center and see what happens. But I'm really interested in just... I played a game called Sarah Hipped, and it's a game about exploration. It's not as vast as No Man's Sky by any means. It's just... But you can explore and find weird alien life on the planet. And when I did that, I got this really cool feeling that I did not know what it was, and I couldn't believe I was walking up to it. And it looked like a flesh armpit that was just like limping towards me, making these weird sounds. And it was scary because it was completely dark, and I didn't know if this thing was going to hurt me or not. And it was essentially dry humping me. And yeah, but that feeling, man, of seeing that and discovering that weird creature made me realize how important No Man's Sky is going to be in that area. Like going to a planet and you find one with a lot of life and seeing something for the first time. That's something I'm definitely looking forward to in No Man's Sky.
I think what kind of sparked my love for No Man's Sky is I play a lot of Starbound currently, or I played a lot of it.
Yeah.
I always used to say that, like, I liked survival games and I liked the tedious micromanaging of my food and water, but I realized that it wasn't that I liked, and I don't even like having my progress impeded. I just like being able to jump into a game for 20, 30 minutes, maybe a couple hours at a time, and just do what I want.
Yeah.
And No Man's Sky seems to offer a nearly unprecedented level of freedom. If I wanted to just make it my goal on the first planet I get to, I'm going to walk in a circle. I'm going to walk all the way around the planet.
Yeah.
I don't care if I spend, the next 3 weeks doing it, but if I wanted to do that, then I could. Or if I wanted to see what happens if I try and dig to the core, I'll do that.
Right.
When I look at No Man's Sky, I don't feel in any way limited. I see a planet and I say, that's a planet. That's a planet that has ecosystems, weather, animals, flora, fauna, everything. And to me, it sort of captures that feeling of just what it is to live on a planet. Just the infinite complexity of the universe.
Yeah.
Just how anything can happen, and it's all based off it's like a 64-bit number that they generate at the beginning, and that generates an entire universe.
And a lot of the new people coming onto No Man's Sky, they're just learning about it. They don't know about the whole 90% are barren and 10% have life. But I tell you that I can't wait. The coolest thing to me, my ideal planet is actually to find one that kind of turns the game to like a horror game while I'm there. Like this planet's just creepy, scary. The creatures are just scary. The planet's dark, it's unsafe to be on, and it's, get off of it pretty quick. I think that's one of my ideal planets. I can't wait to find something like that. But the barren planets, I think, offer more excitement for me. I don't know why. Maybe because in like reality, if you go to a planet, it's going to be a barren planet. So maybe just the realism of that. I don't know, but I cannot wait to see some of these beautiful landscapes on some of these barren planets.
Realistic dust modeling and stuff.
Yeah.
Just that was the highlight of your No Man's Sky experience. You went to essentially a ball of dust, saw another ball of dust on the horizon, and then you saw a ball of gas in the sky. And
Yeah.
Oh no, I see what you mean. And that's another thing that I really like about No Man's Sky. I am a huge sci-fi fan. I read a lot of sci-fi. I've read Ender's Game, the Dune trilogy, anything you can really imagine at this point. And what I love about sci-fi is a lot of the imagery. I love seeing a fleet against a planet, and they're shooting lasers at each other, and you go past that fleet, and you go down on that planet, you look up, and that space battle's still going on, and they're shooting each other, and it's kind of like being a kid again. It's kind of like being a kid and having like a set of Legos, and those Legos, you can make anything out of them, and you've got like the little dudes or whatever, but you just kind of fill in the gaps. And what you fill in with those gaps is just amazing. Like, there are no characters in the game. There's no voice acting. It's just ships flying around. So you kind of fill in your own motivations there. Like that freighter over there, he's trying to feed his wife and family, but he was in prison. So you don't want to destroy him because he had gone to prison and he has a family to feed. But that freighter over there, that one that's all on its lonesome, that one's a depressed ex-space marine or something. And I also love the multiplayer. I'd actually like to speak about the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I love how rare it is going to be that you meet up with anybody.
So do I.
I agree with him completely that you're going to be like on a planet. You're going to see like a ship land in the distance. And you're going to be like, did I just see that?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's kind of like watching the wind. You don't really see the wind so much as you see the influence it has.
Right. All right, buddy. You got any closing statements you want to say?
I'd actually like to say something to a friend. Roxanne, you are the best thing that has ever happened to me. And now thousands of people are going to hear that I said that.
Awesome.
So have fun.
Awesome. Congratulations to you, buddy.
Okay. You guys have a nice night. Don't stay up too late. Be back before the street lamps are on. And are you guys Northerners, right?
Yeah,
you sound like you're
Midwest.
from Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right, buddy. You have a good night, man. Thank you for coming on. I enjoyed it.
Well, which channel is this one going to be uploaded to so I can subscribe?
It's the Cobra TV channel. You found the ship's video?
Yep. there we go.
Okay, buddy. Have a good one, man. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Bye, bro.
Bye.